So we had a great interview today. The audio is fantastic. The middle of it is hilarious because it just completely froze. I just let it go. I didn't care just because, it was it was so much fun, just hearing what Devin had to say and for about, I don't know, 10 minutes. It's just a frozen face of him and back and forth between he and I. But if you're just there to listen, it was really good. We're probably gonna do an audio version, strictly audio version of this interview, but it was fun. I hope you guys enjoy it. Here is Devin Burr on our interview today on the Jamie Tanner Show. All right, Mr. Devin Burr, how are you today, sir?
I'm good, man. Thanks for having me on here. I appreciate you, brother.
It's absolutely my pleasure, man. I've been looking forward to this one for a couple days now. So let's you and I. Well, you know what? I'm going to backtrack a little bit because I've talked about this on a couple different times that you and I met you in December of 2019.
Yep.
And I won't, for whatever reason, it's not because you're pretty or anything. I just won't forget the day. I remember walking into to this meetup that, I'd never done a meetup before. It was something I was totally uncomfortable with. And everybody kind of came in the room and this guy with his sneakers and talking about his shoes and how much he loved them and laughing and stuff. And I'm like, who's this dude?
Oh man, I remember that.
You just made an impression, man. It was cool. I enjoyed meeting you that day, and I'm super happy that even here we are, 11, 12 or 13 months later, and we're friends, and I appreciate you, and you're just a cool person to be around.
I appreciate you, dude. It's actually funny because that was my first meetup as well.
Really?
Yeah, man. So kind of a backstory. I got into real estate in October of 2019. Quit my job and tried doing this full time and just didn't know what to do. I had no idea what to do. And yeah, like from then until whenever that meetup was, it was like mid-December, right?
Yeah.
December 15th, something like that.
It literally
so up until that point, I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea what I was doing. So I was like, man, I should go back to my job. Like I was like about to go back, and me and my wife went on this cruise. Mm-hmm. And on this cruise, I had just a ton of clarity because I had started reading The Miracle Morning. Have you read that book?
You know what? I've heard it's a great book, and the reason why I believe I haven't ever read it is because I kind of started doing it anyways. I was kind of doing that stuff about 4 years ago. We can get into that later, but yeah, I haven't read it yet, and I probably should, but yeah, I'll get into that.
Great book, dude. It's an incredible book. And I read it, and it talks about like getting up early, obviously, and having a routine to your morning. Part of that routine being meditating and just using that extra time before, life starts happening to work on yourself. Mm-hmm. And we're on this cruise, and I've got time to meditate like out on deck when it's just peaceful. It's just me early in the morning. And it really just hit me. It was like, you know what? For me to be successful in this business, I have to do something different. I wasn't doing anything. And my mentor, Templeton Walker, told me, he's like, dude, you're a people person. Just go where people are at. Go to meetups. So I found meetups on the Meetup app when I was on that cruise. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to this when I get back. That was the first one where I met you.
Wow.
And dude, full transparency, dude. I was so out of my element. I felt like I was so nervous. I was so just uncomfortable, right? And because I was uncomfortable, because of the fact, like driving there, I'm like, gosh, I'm very uncomfortable. I don't know anybody. Like that told me I've got to do this.
Right.
I've got to step out of my comfort zone. And I went there, and yeah, from then on, I just started going to every meetup I could go to and surrounding myself with people that are doing deals. Lo and behold, I started getting deals in January. So definitely
crazy,
some power behind it.
Yeah, there totally is, and I know so many people that they're you know just don't want to do that because of that exact reason. They're just so uncomfortable, right? And
Right.
I was the same way. I remember driving there, just going, "Why am I? I could just easily turn around and go home and hang out for a Saturday morning," and I did it, and it kind of changed the way I look at everything. I think now it's not uncomfortable, and it kind of goes back even to going to Zach's hikes on the on Sundays.
Hmm.
You posted that, and as soon as you posted, I was like, why am I not doing
You know, it's funny because I've only gone to one.
that? Yeah, I've gone ever since that one you didn't go to
Yeah,
or
man.
you went to. Yeah,
I lose track of days, honestly. And Sunday will come around and it's like 11 o'clock noon. I'm like, crap, I forgot the hike. It literally happens like every week, bro. So I'm not really on Instagram enough now to like get the notifications he gives on his stories. So
yeah,
I miss the hike every week. I got to put like a reminder in my calendar. That's
absolutely,
what I
man.
need to do.
The older you get, you better start putting a bunch of reminders. Keeps freezing up. I don't understand why it's doing it.
Oh, the
I'm
memory's not
sorry,
as good
man.
as it used to be.
I'm telling you, and it gets worse.
No doubt. Well, yeah, man, I appreciate you having me on here, though.
So I wanted to, well, first of all, I told everybody that I was going to have a good story about how your weekend was.
Mm.
Hey, the fact that you're smiling, it was a good weekend. It could have been a lot worse.
Man. So yeah, the 8th, January 8th, we wake up just like I do every morning to wake up early. I meditate, I write down my goals. I do a little reading, whether it's on audiobook or actually reading. And then I go to the gym. So I try to get back to my house by like 7 o'clock. Everyone's still probably asleep, or most people, and I've already worked on myself. I meditate, I write down my goals. I do a little reading, whether it's on audiobook or actually reading. And then I go to the gym. So I try to get back to my house by like 7 o'clock. Everyone's still probably asleep, or most people, and I've already worked on myself for 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
So same thing, routine. My car is gone. I go out to the garage. My car that I love is gone from the garage. Heart
And this
just
car,
sinks, man.
what car is this?
So
So
yeah,
everybody knows.
they stole my car. It's a 2009 Grand Sport Corvette. So
Yeah.
just love that car. It's incredible. It's the last year they make the front engine, last year of stick shift. Mine has special seats. Like, it's a rare car that's actually gone up in value. It's gone up 10 grand since I bought it. So I'm like,
Awesome.
I love the car for one, but two, they stole something that is going to keep going up in value.
Yeah.
So I was just bummed for like getting reports. I'm in the car is like pieces like there we go. So the cop like, we
Gosh, man,
found
what?
your
There we go.
car. I'm like yes. So I go expecting the car to be in pieces, and I show up. It's all piece and just has a few scratches and things like that on it. So just a blessing, and
Yeah.
it's crazy, man, how life works.
It's fun. I've been in this car, guys. It is extremely nice, and I know how much he really, really loved that thing too. So I'm glad you got it back, buddy.
Yeah, it's sitting in the garage now with a camera pointing at it. It's locked in the garage. Before, I would keep the keys in it. Nope, the keys are inside. It's got a camera. Like, no one's stealing it now. And if they do, I
Nice.
got them on camera.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you got it back. Congrats, man. So
No doubt.
let's talk about your real estate journey. Where are you at? What's your portfolio look like? And what do you got? What are you kind of looking for into the future?
So, as I mentioned, been doing this since October of 2019. First deal was in January. And in 2020, I did 11 wholesale deals, I think 6 flips and 5 burrs. So I have 5 in my rental portfolio. And yeah, this year, like really the main focus is just to build other revenue streams. So I'm working on putting out a course for the Burr method because we do the Burr method a little different than most people think of doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So putting out a course on that. I got on TikTok in December and put out some stuff that actually got some traction. So I've got like 60,000 followers on there, trying to grow that so I can have more influence there. Getting my license for life insurance policies because I've been using them to multiply my money and I know it works. So I want to be able to help other people do that. And obviously there's a financial benefit as well. If I can get someone started with a policy, I get commissions on it. So they're not high. The commissions are actually low if you structure it correctly. But if you sign enough people up for it, then it can be very profitable. And that's another revenue stream. I'm looking at different streams of revenue through vertically integrating some of the businesses we already have. Mm-hmm. So that's just really my focus, is to make sure that every part of any business that I have, I get paid on that business, that part of it. So eventually I want to have a title company. So if I'm doing real estate deals, instead of paying the title company, it just goes through my title company, right? So I make some money there. Just having multiple revenue streams. They say the average millionaire has what, like 7 revenue streams?
Yep.
So full disclosure, I am a millionaire, but I don't have 7 streams. So I can only imagine
what 7 streams will do for you.
Right. So I think right now we've got 3. I guess 4 if you include my wife's income. Mm-hmm. But by the end of the year, I think 10 is realistic. That's where we want to be.
Oh, wow. 10, that's great, man.
Streams. So it all started with just meetups, man. Going to meetups.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? And I was just going to say, actually my next question for you was, what changed? Where did you go from a full-time job, and what changed to make you, basically go out of a comfortable place and get into the point of being an entrepreneur? And really, there's risk, right? There's tons of risk in just taking that leap. But what changed for you?
So I'm a big reader, as I've said. I definitely do some reading, and one of the best books I think I've ever read is I can't think of the name of it right now. It's by Paulo Coelho. I'm losing it right now. The Alchemist. Alchemist.
Yeah.
That book, it talks about having a personal legend, right?
Mm-hmm.
Following your personal legend. And from a very young age, I was not an employee. There's no way I was going to be a good employee. There's no way I was going to be a good employee. Bro, I've had like 50 jobs, guaranteed, maybe more.
Yeah.
And the reason I knew that is because I think about 3rd grade, maybe 4th grade. I don't know the exact year, but the most popular lollipop back then was the caramel apple lollipops. You remember those?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I do. I remember in the green packaging.
Yep. At school, they would have bake sales, right? And kids would pay like $1 per, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking, man, people love these. I love them. Like, how can I make money off this? This is, again, 3rd, 4th grade.
Right.
So my parents had a Costco membership, and I bought a big bag of these caramel apple lollipops. There was like 200 in a bag. Like, it was like $10 for the bag. Mm-hmm. I would buy them with my allowance, and then I would take them to school in my backpack and sell them for 75 cents. I'm like, hey, don't buy from the bake sale. Buy it for me. I can give it to you for 75 cents instead of $1.
Yeah.
I made so much money as a 3rd or 4th grader. It was insane. Like, I remember there was one day I remember where I had all this cash on me, right? Quarters, dollars, all this stuff. And my mom asked me, she's like, where'd you get all that money? Did you steal it from your dad? And I clearly remember thinking in my head, I'm like, steal it from my dad. He's broke. Like,
It's awesome.
what? So I just knew from an early age, like, I was not an employee. I was an entrepreneur.
Right.
And from that point on, I never really tried in school. I just kind of skated through. I mean, I think I graduated with like a C average at best.
Right there
And,
with you.
you know, on tests, you know, where you fill in the little dots, I would literally just go down and do random ones. I'm like, I got a 63. Yes. So, I mean, I just never saw value in school. I never saw value in being an employee. So to get to your question, when I started becoming an employee and I was jumping from all these jobs to jobs, and I was like stuck in corporate America, I was making good money, but I just wasn't happy, man. I was drained every day because I was not living my personal legend. My personal legend is to be an entrepreneur, to be my own boss, to not have to, you know, worry about if they change the comp plan, if this happens, if that happens. I'm in full control, just like I was back when I was in 3rd grade selling lollipops. I'm in control. So that's kind of what changed, is I realized, like, this isn't for me to like do my own thing, and I need to put my effort into me becoming wealthy, not my employer becoming
Exactly.
wealthy.
And it's
Does that
kind of
make
fun.
sense?
No, it totally makes sense. And I think it's so funny because you know, the people we talk to, their stories are very similar, you know, and like, I'm obviously a little bit older than you. And, and, I come from probably a little bit of a different, hey, you know, you got to go to school, you got to get a full-time job, and so on. You were kind of almost in that tail end of that, and I think to that point of where people started thinking like you at a younger age. I believe that, but I knew back then too that something was different. You know, I just didn't like being told what to do. If I had to shave, I didn't like someone telling me I had to shave. If I wanted to get up in the morning at a certain time, that should have been my decision. And I knew there was something different. I just couldn't figure out for the longest time how to change it. And until I got much older, you know, and finally I was just like, I'm done. We're going a different, you know, and yeah, it's funny. There's just similarities between people that want to lead this kind of life, because it is a different way of living. It's a different mindset, a different way of thinking, and you know, it's just different for me. And I'm so happy to be here, because I'm so happy I can actually start something and talk to someone like you and discuss it, and you know, help other people out and maybe change their mindset.
Well, dude, that's what it's all about. It's, you know, giving back to other people. We've talked about this. The more you give to other people, the more you get in return. So another great book for anyone who's listening to this is The Go-Giver.
Sure.
Great book. I think I've gone through that like 3 or 4 times, you as well. So just a great book. And the thing about it is too, you always want to be improving, right? You always want to be becoming a better version of yourself. And the only way to really do that is to get real with yourself, to look yourself in the mirror and say, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? And if the answer is no, actually, you know, if the answer is no, if you're unhappy, if you're unhappy, if you're not motivated, if you're not energized, you're not doing the right thing. But if you have energy, if you know, walk with a strut, if you've got confidence about yourself because of what you're doing, keep doing it, right? Keep pushing, because it's only going to turn out to be, you know, what you want, if not way more in the end.
Yeah, totally agree with you, man. I don't know what that was. Something about an order. Sorry about that.
Amazon?
It actually was Amazon.
That's another revenue stream I want to get this year, actually, is to have my own Amazon shop.
I kid you not, Devin, I literally wrote this same thing down for me to be working on at 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. If I had my journal sitting right next to me, I would literally open it and show you.
That's awesome, dude. Definitely.
Yeah.
That's a key to success that I want to make sure a lot of people understand. And it sounds like you do, obviously, is write down what you want, and write it down in the morning. That is the best time to
Yeah.
write it down because your brain is the most impressionable in the morning.
Yep.
So literally just if it's on a notepad, I hate writing because my hand starts hurting and my writing gets so sloppy. So
It's so bad.
I just type it in my notes on my laptop.
Right.
So write down what you want, because if you write it down, you're putting the thought in your brain, and write it down as if you already have it. Like,
Mhm.
for instance, one of my goals is to have $50,000 a month in passive income from rentals. So I don't say I want 50,000. I say I have 50,000 a month in rental property income,
Mhm.
as if it's already accomplished. So now
Awesome.
that thought is in my head. Once I write everything down, I speak it. I make it reality. I speak it into existence. And it's crazy how well that works, because I want to say this was around, I think it was right before COVID hit. So like March 10th, somewhere around there. It was right after my birthday. Um, and I remember talking to my wife and I'm like, this is crazy. I showed her like my journal, everything that I've been writing down every morning. And I started listing everything off. I'm like, babe, I have the life that I am writing down. Everything that I was writing down was coming into fruition. Everything. I was putting things like, I am surrounded by all the top players in this industry. We're all good friends. I'm now friends with Pace Morby, Jesse Burrell, like all the big players, like we're friends. I
Mhm.
spoke that into existence. So I cannot urge that enough to anyone who's listening. Write your goals down as if they're already accomplished. Do it every day. And then once you write them down, just read them out loud to yourself. It is incredible how it actually works.
It is, you're dead on. And honestly, I was never a believer in it. I'll be fully upfront. I mean, even 6 months after you and I first met, I still hadn't done that. And it was in sometime in mid-June, I did that this year. And the very first thing I wrote down was to have a flip in the next 90 days. And I kid you not, we were under contract in like a week for the
So
first
how
flip.
so you were writing it down for about a week and then it happened?
Yeah, literally a week.
It's insane, dude.
Yeah,
It's insane.
it's crazy. And guilty. I'll admit I was guilty of this. Getting through the flip, as much as we were doing physical work on it, and that's a whole other story. But as much as we were doing physical work, I got away from all of that, and really didn't get back into writing stuff down until probably mid last month, and started writing stuff down. And the very first thing I would write down every morning, I need 2 flips by March. It was like March 3rd or something like that. And a week later, we're under contract, for the house in Pine. And I do believe we'll be under contract for another one here in the next couple of weeks, and have those goals, for the first quarter that we
Right.
want to do in place.
Dude, just don't stop it, because what I
Yeah.
have found, and I've done the same thing, like I stopped it for a while and got away from it, and things fell off right after I had literally
Yeah.
told my wife how it worked. I stopped doing it, and things fell off from like March to probably June. I didn't do much, and I was like almost depressed. I wasn't going to the gym. Like the gym is kind of like my sanctuary.
Hmm.
It's part of my morning routine. So I was like depressed a little bit about just how things were happening. Felt like I was losing momentum, and I started writing things down again. So
Yep.
your reality is just a perpetual like version of your previous thoughts, right?
Hmm.
So if your previous thoughts and actions are all about success, all about success, all about success, boom, here's current time. That's what your life is.
Yep.
From there, if you start thinking differently and doing different things, then at your next current, reality, whatever, it's not the same again. You always have to be doing those things that build success and give you the life you want. You
Right.
can't stop. And the
Yep.
moment you stop, the saying they say where when you stop growing, you start dying.
Yeah.
That holds true, man. Like
I agree.
if you do not keep trying to become a better person and a better version of yourself, you're slowly dying.
Yep. Totally with you on that, man. Totally with you. This is a deeper conversation than I thought it was going to be, buddy.
Bro, I get deep sometimes, dog. I get deep sometimes. Just
Oh
not
man.
just not in bed. Oh snap.
I gotta put this one as not for kids.
Man, I can't be on this, man. I'm gonna step up and say some crazy stuff.
Oh, there
Hey,
you are.
should we just redo everything that we just talked about?
I don't even care, man. Honestly, it was just the listening part, or the audio is gonna be really good, bro.
Yeah, so it's funny, man. When technology does not work, I'm like, man, it's 2021. What are we doing?
Word, right? Do I really need to be hardwired into to make this all happen?
Right. Shouldn't Wi-Fi work?
Yeah. All right, man.
Where'd we leave off at?
We left off you in bed and not being.
Man, you know me, man. I always like to have fun, and I think that's part of the reason I've seen success is I don't take life too seriously. I don't take myself too seriously. Like I'll make jokes about myself because if you can't do that, if someone makes a joke about you or says something about you that's true, but something you can't control. Like for instance, my height. I'm not tall. I'm 5'6", 5'7" on a good day. If I can't joke about that, if someone calls me short, it'll get to me. Like
Oh yeah.
it'll hurt me inside. But it's like if I can joke about it, I'm like, yeah, I'm short. What?
Yeah.
my feet dangle on the toilet. What? What of it? At least I'm handsome though.
Yeah, there you go. That works. I get the old thing. I mean, it seems like most of the people that I'm around, I'm significantly older than.
Yeah.
Lester. Honestly, Lester, who you obviously have met, he's probably the one person I'm around mostly that's older than me, and he's about 6 months older than me.
So not much.
No, not a lot. So
you got like 1 foot in the grave, brother.
halfway there, bro.
Just kidding.
Yeah, honestly, man, you said you like to laugh and have fun, and literally the last question I had for you is where's the enthusiasm come from? Because you are one of those people that just kind of goes out there and has a really good time, and if you guys ever see him around, he's literally a social butterfly. This is what you are.
Yeah, man, it's funny because in school I was the same way. I was just friendly. I was basically friends with everybody, right? Everyone either loved me or hated me, but me, I was friendly with everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's because I'm a social butterfly. I just like talking to people. I like being around people. I like feeding off their energy. If they don't have good energy, I go elsewhere. So in school, my teachers would be like, you got to stop talking. You got to concentrate. You being the social butterfly is going to make it to where you're never successful in life. And it's actually what's made me successful.
Exactly.
So where it comes from though is just gratitude, man. Like being grateful for what I have.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got a lot. I've got an amazing wife. We have everyone's got issues, but for the most part, we have a really, really good marriage. Got an amazing daughter. She's extremely smart, straight A's.
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 amazing dogs that are just awesome. I've got a beautiful house, 3 cars now because the other one came back. All paid off. We got money in the bank. I just have a great life. So there's so much for me to be thankful for.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I had none of that stuff, right? I've got 2 eyes. A lot of people don't.
Yep.
I've got both my hands, both my arms, both my legs, my feet. I'm not mentally challenged or anything like that. Like,
well, that's debatable, but
true. but bottom line is there's always something to be grateful for. And one of the things that I think keeps my energy high and keeps that vibe is because I'm always focused on what I'm grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And a little tip that I got this again from another book, is to have something on you at all times that when you touch it, it reminds you to have gratitude. And for me, it's either this chapstick, so it's in my pocket, Whenever I reach in my pocket, I feel it. I'm like, I remember. Think about some stuff to be grateful for.
Awesome.
So it's either this or I have like this little rock, and I'll just keep it in my pocket. When I'm done with the day, I'll take it out, put it on the dresser. Next day, put it in my pocket. And just again, how often do you reach in your pockets? Pretty often.
All day, yeah.
So when I reach in my pocket and I feel it, I'm like reminded to be grateful for what I have. And because of that, I give off this energy that like, there's nothing wrong. Everything's good in the
Yep.
world. Right.
Yep. You're right, because honestly, I mean, I know I've seen how you've grown in the last, 13, 14 months, on a financial level, and the things that you've done. And if I met you today and met you only once, that time we first met and today, I think you're the exact same person. Nothing has changed you. I think you gave off that kind of a vibe the first time I met you, and you're no different today, man. And it's pretty cool to see.
Can you tell your listeners the first time you reached out to me, how that happened, how that went about?
Yeah, so
I'll never forget this.
It was a couple weeks had gone by, and I was like, what am I supposed to do here? I know who I want to reach out to. I know what I want to do. So I sent a note to you and I said, hey, I'd like to go grab coffee, or at least meet up with you. And I know that providing something was important at the time. So I said, hey, I'm a licensed drone operator. I know you have some properties out there. Would you like pictures of them? I'll do them for free. Whatever I could do to make sure that I was providing something for you at the time, was what I was willing to do. It didn't matter, but I thought that one would be kind of cool. And
Mm-hmm.
and I know you appreciated just the idea of, okay, well, I've had people reach out to me, but at least he's trying to provide me a little bit of value at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Little did I know you had no properties.
Right. Hey, perception is reality, man.
Right,
Perception
exactly.
is reality. So yeah, I had no properties at the time, but I was again thinking of them as if I did. So I was giving off that vibe, that perception. And yeah, I remember he reached out to me and I was like, man, that's kind of cool that he's like reaching out to me to give me value and not just asking for something in return. So, because I had people reach out to me that, again, perception's reality. So the stuff I put out on Instagram, people thought I was this expert, that I've been doing it for so long.
Yep.
I've been in it for 2 months.
Yeah.
And people were like, hey, can I, sit down with you, pick your brain? I'm like, no, who are you? Like, but you came at it at a different angle. You're like, hey, how can I bring you value? And by the way, can I sit down with you, get some coffee, and learn from you? Do you remember what I told you?
On that, you're like, yeah, I'm kind of new to this, so I really don't have that much information to share.
Yeah. I was like, dude, full disclosure, I've been doing this for 2 months. Might not be the best person to sit down with. And you were like, no, actually, that makes it more of a reason because like you're going through the same thing as I am. So I was like,
exactly.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, ever since then we've been homies, and I appreciate you, bro. I've seen you grow so much, and
thanks, man.
the leap of faith that you and Sherry took on your first flip is incredible. Like
Largely.
that was a big job for your first one. And I know you guys were trying to partner up with me and send me stuff that we could partner up on. And I'm just super conservative.
Yeah.
So I didn't take on anything. And you had that one that you took on. I was like, man, hey, but what they say, no risk, no reward. So you guys took a risk and it paid off. You guys got a really nice amount of money out of it. And you learned a ton, I'm sure. So you learned
more valuable than the cash.
Yeah. You learned while you made a lot of cash.
Yeah.
Yeah. So some people will get into this and they'll learn when they lose. Mm-hmm. Right? Their first deal, they'll lose, and it'll either set them off their tracks and they won't do anything from then on because they're too afraid to lose more.
Yeah.
Or they'll be like, all right, I lost 10 grand, but what did I learn? Was it worth $10,000?
Yeah.
A lot of times it's yes.
Wait, yeah. I honestly, from day one on that project, I told my wife, that Sherry, I said, if we make $5, I'll be happy. because I
Yeah,
know what we're going to learn on this project is way outweighing the amount of money we could make.
100%.
So,
One thing
yeah.
I would always urge people to do is to partner up with someone who has done deals. Like
Mhm.
you guys were just ready. You just took the
Yeah.
leap, but to hedge that risk, I'm always about hedging risk. And to hedge that risk, partner up with someone who's done deals. Like
Hmm.
with me, I partnered up with my homie Templeton,
Yep.
who was my mentor. I partnered up with him, and the value I brought is I was just bringing him deal after deal after deal,
Yep.
and eventually, like the deals made sense. The value he was bringing was the knowledge, what not to look for, what to look for, um, the crew, right, to fix our
Yeah.
properties. So there was like equal value in that partnership,
Hmm.
and if I didn't have him, one, I wouldn't have been able to do as many deals because I didn't even have a crew, right?
Right.
And two, I probably would have lost money because you don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know,
Exactly.
right?
Yep.
So my advice is always partner up with someone that's done deals. You're going to make less for a while you learn everything, but then you can branch out and do it all on your own, not make mistakes, and earn a lot more.
And
So that's always my advice to people.
50% of something's a lot better than
100% of nothing.
100% of nothing.
Or 50% of something's a lot better than 100% of losing.
Yeah, that too.
You know? So I learned
Oh,
that from my again mentor, homie, my brother, Templeton Walker. I love that dude.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, just the main thing you can always do in this business is learn. There's always
Mhm.
something else to learn, always different strategies. You can start doing commercial, which I'm actually looking into commercial property now.
Yeah.
So I'll be getting into that this year. There's subject to, there's seller carry, there's syndications. I mean, there's just so many different verticals that you can use in wholesaling. Or there's wholesaling in real estate. There's so many
Yeah.
different verticals. So just always be learning, man. Always trying to
Yeah.
become a better version of yourself. And you're gonna look up one day and be like, "Holy shit, my life
Or
is fucking awesome." You know what I mean?
I'm right there with you, brother. It is a lot of fun. It's cool, and you just every single day I'm trying to do better every single day, just like you are, and it's been great. I look forward to a lot more years of being around you and learning from you, and even I'm sure someday we'll work together on something.
Yeah, and I'll probably learn from you. I mean, I've never been the type that thinks that I can't learn from somebody. I could learn from
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
You can learn
We should.
from you can learn from a bum on the street. True story.
Yeah.
True
Uh,
story.
Okay.
All right. So panhandlers, right? People asking for money. I never give them money because in my head I'm always thinking, man, they're probably just gonna go buy some booze or some drugs. Like my money is better in my pocket for me and my family, right?
Mhm.
So I've never really given any money. Um, but there was this guy one time that it was a white guy. He had a sign that said, "Spread the cheddar for this broke cracker." And dude,
The creativity.
I lost it. I literally, I was at a red light. I started laughing out loud in my car by myself, and I waved him down, gave him some money, and I was like, dude, I gotta tell you, the humor you had with your sign is what did it. So
Yeah.
like you can learn from anybody. Like to have humor in your life, like try laughing and feel bad. You
Yeah.
can't
Can't
do it,
do it. Right.
right? Laughter always brings joy, it brings happiness. So I somewhat learned something from that guy who was broke on the street, probably had hardly any money to his name. I learned
Mhm.
something from
Yep.
laughter will get you places.
For sure, man.
Humor will get you places. So you can learn from anybody, man. Just always be open to it, always be receptive to learn, receptive to grow, and just, you know, continue to be better.
Yeah, for sure, man. Look, dude, this has been my pleasure. Uh, Appreciate your time. I know you got a lot going on, and look forward to hanging out soon. And just want to thank you for coming on today, man.
Dude, of course, brother. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate you, and I'm proud of you for everything that you're doing. You and Sherry, um, you guys, nothing but love for both of you guys. So Yeah,
Right
let's
back
definitely
at you.
connect soon. Let's definitely connect soon, and bigger and better things to come, my brother.
Yep. Golf course soon.
Yes, I need that.
Me too. All right, man. You have a good one, brother. Thanks a lot.
You too, homie.
So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Devin's a great person, good friend, super inspirational. You know, the guy's gone through a lot, and he's in a great spot in life, and just funny. He's just great to be around. Hope you all enjoyed it. I know there was a little glitch there in the middle, but if you're there, just listen to it. He had so many great things to say, and things that we all should be able to take away from it. So appreciate it. If you guys enjoyed the interview, hit the like button, hit the dislike button. Let us know what we did wrong other than the glitch. We know there was a glitch. Subscribe. Hope you all having a great night. Talk to you soon.